No,
Allegedly.
they're past controlling us. They already do that. But, they use the mind control to get us to be complacent, and docile workers. But that wasn't enough for them. They didn't get rich enough off that. So then it was, hey, we can do experiments on them. They know they're going to have to get rid of him, so they're considering, putting in somebody else. And they don't quite know who, because Kamala's, she wasn't, she's got citizenship issues.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, she does.
Well, she's even less popular than he is.
And then there's the fact that nobody.
That's like the
Oh my
low
God!
bar.
Did you see her where she tries to act like she's human?
Yeah.
I mean, allegedly she's they're on the third clone with her.
Well,
This conversation between Roseanne Barr and Kari Lake gives us an excellent look inside the mind of the American conservative and how it operates, especially now that the MAGA movement has completely infected mainstream Republican politics.
Well, I told some people who ask me that all the time. I said, I don't need to run again because in 2012 I declared myself the de facto president of the American people for life.
I love that.
And
I'm not for dictators, but if we had to have one,
but
it might be fun to have Roseanne Barr.
The irony of Kari Lake saying the quiet part out loud in regards to her thoughts on dictators is incredibly rich because we understand how she gets down as a politician. And not only that, we're acutely aware of who she supports and backs. Guys like Donald Trump, for one. But then she's out here, there are reports that she's posing with Nazi sympathizers, and she even received an endorsement at one point from an outspoken anti-Semite. So, again, hella ironic. And then there's so much hypocrisy about a Trump-loving election denier playing dumb about her authoritarian beliefs. Come on, be serious and be honest with yourself, and then you'll be honest with others, Kari. And it's most likely that she was joking with Roseanne in this clip, but it's hard to ignore the image that Lake projects to the general public, right? And how that said image puts her joke into context.
Was the 2022 election for governor in Arizona stolen? And if they won't say absolutely yes, that's a big red flag. That's a big red flag. Ask all of them. I think you should ask Nikki and Vivek, and I'm trying to think who else is running. When Ron DeSantis comes, ask him where he stands. And ask President Trump. And I'll tell you what, I know that one of them will be honest with you about these elections. And one of them is Donald J. Trump. Somebody called me Trump, a female version of Trump, a little softer around the edges, and I take that as the highest compliment. And I couldn't find any just straight up information on her. Everything was she's a fascist, she's a racist, she's this, she's that. And I thought, wow, this is somebody who I can relate to because they're doing the same thing about me. And it makes me realize that if they're not calling you all of these slurs, if they're not attacking you, then you're probably not truly representing the people of your country.
And as you probably figured out by now, other election deniers in the Trump-centered media ecosystem are willing to go to bat for Lake, even though her gubernatorial campaign ended in a disaster.
But for Arizona, I think it's an absolute disaster and an embarrassment on the world stage. Kari Lake should be governor of Arizona. I truly believe there's election fraud there.
I think they have a good argument to say the election was so poorly run it shouldn't be certified.
So we can have
I
a
would
revote?
like to see that.
Is that a revote?
I think they need a new election. I mean, the only way to restore confidence in the election in Arizona is to redo it.
And it's been incredibly alarming to see how the Republican Party has shifted towards a more right-wing approach, because now you see more and more of them openly embracing conspiracy theories about elections instead of going down the usual path of trying out all these voter suppression tactics to scare away and intimidate marginalized communities and individuals who are more likely going to vote for Democratic candidates as opposed to Republican ones. But here's the scarier thing. So many of these election results deniers, the ones that have all these conspiracy theories and that there's fraud involved, they're getting promoted. They are in positions of power. Check this out. Just look at all these members of Congress who have been promoted after still trying to deny the accuracy of the 2020 presidential election. Kevin McCarthy was the House Minority Leader, then became the Speaker of the House. Of course, he was ousted most recently, so he's no longer the Speaker of the House, but he still earned a promotion at the time. How about Steve Scalise? He's now the House Majority Leader, highest ranking Republican to sign on to a Supreme Court lawsuit challenging the election results. Okay, Scott Perry, boom. Ken Paxton, Texas Attorney General, got reelected. Then Christina Caramo was a private citizen before, now is the Michigan GOP chair. And I could go on, right? There's so many others, but the point is that they have been boosted. Like their profiles have been enhanced for them to gain more power and influence. And that is scary. And the reason why they're trying to put all this doubt about the elections is to make sure people don't trust the government and that they get their way. And more people are like, okay, yeah, the government, we shouldn't trust them at all. And in general, there are things that you have to be wary of or skeptical of the government. But this goes way over the line where people are having these ridiculous ideas about the election when everybody knows Biden won fair and square, no question about it. But yeah, this is something that we're probably going to see more and more in terms of Republicans adopting these theories that are way, way out of place. For Rebel HQ, I'm Chris Williamson. We'll see you next time.